If you have Pluto or Scorpio in your 7th house, natural house of Venus, Libra, the house of cooperation, diplomacy, marriage, close union, partnerships. Pluto represents the darker side of life and the darker side of humanity, including you, including your human nature. This particular darker aspect of you and the world you are experiencing through other people, the people you meet in your life. Another very important thing is that this Pluto, darker side, more evil aspect of humanity, of personality, the evil thoughts, you cannot possibly acknowledge or voice these thoughts out unless you acknowledge the evil, more possessive, controlling, manipulative side of yourself. You're not going to meet those people in your life. A lot of the times it works quite the opposite. Pluto or Scorpio in the 7th house people, they don't acknowledge that darker side, the anger that they have, bitterness, resentment that stems from childhood. They will see themselves being triggered constantly in relationships by other people. And when it comes to Pluto in the 7th, there's a lot of karmic connections that these people come across with in their lives because it plays a drastic role as a trigger, like a domino effect, triggered their behavior, their childhood trauma that needs to be purged. And if they still don't allow these aspects of themselves come to the surface and meet them, then it will provoke the other person act in such a manner. What do I mean? So Pluto in the 7th, right? Pluto is very destructive and creative. It's like extreme ways of being. It's not a balanced Libra or Venus. However, you see 7th house is Libra, Venus house, right? So it's not going to be easy for you to express Pluto, right? In that house, meaning Venus side. If you have Pluto in your 7th house, let's say you cannot possibly mitigate argument if you know that you were hurt and it really touched you emotionally. So with this one, emotions run deeper. Like holding a grudge is very familiar for people who have this placement. These people tend to, there's two extremes, right? Either love you, want to stay with you forever, and these people are scared. Like one group of people with this placement are scared to lose their partner. That's why they're ready to give the power to them to control the relationship, or have more power and control over how the relationship is going, whereas I'm going to be like a puppet. There's that scenario. Then there's another scenario where a person wants to break free because it is suffocating and they need that transformation. But usually a person needs some time to get to that point. It doesn't happen overnight where you're like, oh, I'm tired. No, it's like starts slowly, and feelings that you have, or some intuitive messages that are coming in that you are feeling that you need to change something, and that change is in regards to your relationships, that you need to break up, and you have these destructive thoughts. You need to break up and start new, because Pluto likes to destroy and then like slowly build, slowly but surely, like block by block, and so that it's sustainable. And a lot of the times destruction is not pretty, it's ugly, and it can be like you don't acknowledge those thoughts of breaking up, then repress those emotions, because that's how we learned it, really. Even though you've repressed your inner call to break up and kind of decided not to look at it, there will still be this energy that are quite negative that will be felt by another person, your specific person, and then that will provoke that person to break up with you. That's how it usually works. So we destruct so that you can start fresh and you can realize, get these realizations as to why things took place the way they did. That's what Pluto likes to do. But it doesn't always look pretty. It may be also difficult for these people to let go of relationships. Their identity may be tied up in the relationships. They don't know who they are without the other person. And it's important to do the inner work and to disassociate everything about you from the other person, because there's still that mental blockage in people, after narcissistic abuse. They still feel abused, they still mentally remember, because the memory is fresh. Since Pluto represents the extremes, in this way, you may remember who you are and constantly be able to renew yourself. It will either break up with an individual and, find a new relationship, or be alone for some time because you need to heal, you need to transform, let go, to weigh everything out, to go over, the past, reflect and learn. Or you are going to go through struggles, tribulations that arise in relationships, because with this one, there is no peace in relationships. I'm not going to lie. But if these people decide to stick with one another, then they are definitely a power couple. They may love, their partner so much that they are ready to go through whatever it takes, arguments. They're willing to reflect on their behavior, on their partner's behavior, change change, ask questions. They're willing to sacrifice, simply put, for the relationship, because they, their identity is tied up, and losing a partner may feel like death. So it's important to, if you have this relationship, to have a person who actually loves you, so that they don't take advantage of you. Because with this placement, if you are into a person and completely, identified with them and don't know who you are, yes, of course you need to do some inner work for that. First of all, become aware that this is happening, and second of all, to make better choices about the people we surround ourselves with, about the people that are not going to take advantage of you. And in these moments, you are able to know without a doubt, if you're into someone and they're taking advantage of you, that's not good. And with this one, it can be blind love. Depends on the situation, right? But it can be, especially if it's your type. Pluto in the 7th also are attracted to powerful people, powerful people who are strong partners, who are a little bit, dark and mysterious, or they themselves may display these qualities. But overall, this placement indicates that these people are very strong-minded. They can go through a lot of obstacles, a lot of pressure, and still, have faith, and still they're very strong, like Pluto will go to the limit, they will push themselves hard, and if life throws things at them, they will enter. And they may be also, helping others in coping with something that happened with them. So these people are great when it comes to crisis situations. But other than that, there is no balance when it comes to partnerships. It's either, too into them or not at all, and rejecting one's own sexual drive, libido. Yeah, definitely work on that, and balance wherever your Pluto is placed. Work on balancing your Pluto relationships. Try not to depend too much. Try not to completely remove yourself from the dating scene. Don't go extreme ways, okay? Hope you like this video, and I will see you in my next one.